It's HTV Today, Houston Television's showcase of city government. Let's go.
All right. So I know my all right was slow, huh? You know, I was looking at this dang phone and all that kind of stuff. All right, another HTV Today. I'm your host, Ted Irving. We've got executive producer Mariana Oyenguren, DJ audio engineer extraordinaire, Miss Terry Carter. Yeah. In the house, man, and it's a COVID-19. We're going through that.
Right.
Of course, you know, hey, we made sure the social distance, I already counted. So, Terry, you and I, that's 6 feet.
All right.
Our guest, who, you know, let me just go and say the guest name instead of. All right, so we have with us today Christa Stonhem with Complete Communities. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we are 6 feet apart. And on this great episode, we want to get to know Christa, find out what she does and what exactly is Complete Communities. So, let's just go and get right into it. So, Christa, who are you?
You know what? I get that question a lot more than not.
Right.
I think because people used to see me around, but they don't know what I do. They don't know really who I work for. They know I work for the city, but they don't know exactly what I do. So
right.
That is a mystery. She's ever evolving. But.
So where hold on, before I ask the next question, hold on, let me get my. You know, people don't want to be on the show.
Man, I love those peppermints.
You got coffee breath, so I got some mints right here. I need to. You want? Y'all want? You got one? Y'all, you gotta be ready.
That way
you know what I'm
you
saying?
ain't gotta get ready.
I know you.
Stay ready.
Got to be ready. All right. So where are you from?
I'm originally from California, from a city called Dublin. It's in the East Bay area, so it's like 30 minutes outside of Oakland, 45 out of San Francisco.
Okay, so let me get this right. SoCal.
Northern.
Oh, that's NoCal.
Yeah.
NoCal. Okay, all right, cool. And so, in this neighborhood, you know, elementary, middle school. So, what high schools you go to, and then what college?
So I was there until I graduated high school. So
okay.
I was born and raised there, left at 18, went to Prairie View.
Oh, PV.
And just never
all
went back.
From Cali to PV?
PV, you know.
PV. I got to my teacher certification from PV. I got a little PV in the you know. Mm-hmm. I can't rep on the sports or nothing because, you know, no, I can't do that. You know. But yeah, PV.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So what'd you major in?
Architecture.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so give us a little background on how all that. I mean, so number one, we want to know how you got to Prairie. I mean, how did this come about?
So, really, I just wanted to kind of start fresh and just kind of go out on my own. And I wanted to go to HBCU. And my mother found it and signed me up. And I didn't see the campus until moving day. So I just showed up. I didn't have a major. I just said, I'm just going to go and just get started. And I'm going to do my best to be an adult. Still working on that.
You just said, forget it. Let's go on, just go. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's just get on in there to PV. Had you heard of Prairie View before?
No.
So were you aware of HBCUs?
I feel like there was something that happened at high school, and I was aware of like Spelman and a little bit of like the Atlanta thing, because, you know, that was kind of hot when I was in high school.
Right, at Atlanta. Yeah.
But no, I didn't really know about the whole network in terms of the HBCUs.
Gotcha.
So she actually selected it because at the time I had an aunt that lived in Cyprus. So they're like, at least somebody's there in the case that, you know, I need family around.
Okay. And so architecture, how did that come into play?
I think because I've always been a really...
Wait a minute, why'd you laugh?
Because I have to think about what was my mindset at the time, only because I really didn't have a major. I had no clue what I was going to do. I was actually into fashion.
So fashion, okay. Well, architecture, fashion, kind of go, yeah.
Well, I knew I wanted to do something creative. I knew I didn't want to just kind of crunch numbers or something all day. I actually avoided it because I thought it would be heavy on math, and that just wasn't really a passion of mine. But once I kind of realized that it's really a combination of art and science. Like, I like the idea of having something in my mind and see it in fruition on paper or on my computer, and I can like really manifest what was in my brain.
Gotcha. So talk just a little bit about Prairie View and how did it prepare you to come to the city?
So, like I said, I got my bachelor's and master's in architecture. Then I ended up getting a second master's in community development. I think when I was in the program, I loved the idea of art and science, but I really fell in love with understanding the people I was designing the buildings for. I just really wanted to do that analysis in terms of the demographics and, where did they come from? What's the income level? What's the climate? Like, how can I design a building for the people that it serves?
Right.
So I didn't realize that was really planning and more so like community development. After that, I ended up working in an internship for the city of Prairie View. So, actually when I was working on my second master's. So that prepared me kind of for where I am today, because that plan that I worked on then was about finding the assets of the university and aligning it with the city of Prairie View to see how can you booster economic development by working with the College of Agriculture and Sciences or whatnot. So it was really kind of a strategic plan that I worked on that kind of helped introduce me to what I am today and just kind of what I'm ultimately passionate about, which is just helping communities.
So is both masters from Prairie View as well?
Yes.
So everything's Prairie View.
Yes, I gave them all my money.
Terry, Mariana, I'm tired of this. All these, we don't have nobody in here for Sam Houston State. We're gonna have to work. Look, one of them needed to be from Sam.
Y'all need to talk to HR.
Let me cut this off talking about Aggie.
I'm an Aggie from
So, okay, so you get to the city of Houston, and you are part of a department called Complete Community. So for people out there listening, citizens, city employees, because even a lot of city employees, over 20,000, may not really know what is Complete Communities. What do you do?
Well, actually, I started in the planning department when I first came to the city. And it wasn't Complete Communities at the time because it was under Mayor Parker. And I was mostly just responsible for presenting to the Planning Commission. I was presenting different variances about parking lots or the parking requirements, or it was basically the development regulations. In order for a developer to go get their permits, you have to make a presentation to the Planning Commission first. So that's what I started doing. I think I did that for 2-3 years or so. Then Mayor Turner came, announced Complete Communities. I actually used to be the project manager or the lead planner for the Complete Community Acres Home. That's where I started.
Hey. Whoa, hold
That's
on
where
now.
I started.
The fofo.
The fofo.
Easter Street, Bethune. Yeah, see, hey. Hey.
So, yeah, I started there, just kind of getting to know the community. You'll see my name in the book. So Acres Home was the first Complete Community. Just wanted to let that be known.
Allergies, oh, it's allergies. So y'all know allergies. Well, good. So Acres Home is one of that's one of the original Complete
That's one
Communities.
of the original, yes.
Okay.
So we started off with 5, which were Acres Home, near Northside, Gulfton, 2nd Ward, and 3rd Ward.
Okay.
That was in 2017. Basically, we went out in the communities to find out what are the needs, what are the opportunities, what are some of the challenges, because we really, in terms of like the model and the mission of Complete Communities, it's hearing directly from the residents. We definitely don't want to go out there and tell them what needs to be done. It's more of them letting us know how we can support them, where are some of the gaps, maybe we need to provide some of our services to the communities. So to answer your question about like what is Complete Communities is basically just a proactive approach in order to help residents and communities in a targeted manner. More specifically, like aligning and overlaying different services and amenities and making sure that we're all coordinating and working together. So, for example, if Metro is working on a project, our transportation office is working on a project in the vicinity, then there's a CIP plan, there might be some CDBG funds, which is basically the federal funds that is given to the housing department. Like, how can we all coordinate and work together in order to show transformational change and an impact in a community? Because sometimes you can't see it with, us being the 4th largest city in the United States. Let's just try to start on a neighborhood level and let's build up that neighborhood, and then we can move somewhere else and make sure that, we're following that same format, But of
Right,
course, also meeting the needs of the community because, everyone has different wants or needs, and we have to tailor it that way.
So help guide me, help me understand if I'm going in the right direction. So also with complete communities, does that mean that in my neighborhood and area, if I have all the amenities or things we need from parks to transportation, then the next community has it. Is it a parity equity issue? Is that part of it?
I think part of it is we need better communication and coordination. I think it's not necessarily, well, some of it is, just to be frank, and Mayor says it himself, there's some communities that aren't thriving as much as others.
Right.
It's not equitable. And I think some of it is just, maybe we just need to help shine a light on some of these communities because they're all a community of opportunity. So it's just kind of, maybe they might have the park, but they may not have the civic engagement, right? Like part of complete communities is that there's actually 9 specific focus areas that we categorize them into in terms of the projects and the programs. Bear with me if I don't get them all correctly.
Well,
but it's basically all
record
aspects.
this. Hold on, record this right here. Test.
It's basically all aspects of quality of life, right?
Okay.
It's civic engagement, housing, health, infrastructure, safety, parks, economy and jobs, education. I might have missed one. There's
right. That's a lot. So let me ask this though. So we're in this era now of this, pandemic, coronavirus, COVID-19. So what exactly does complete communities? What are you guys doing in terms of, I guess, assisting the mayor in the city of Houston in helping citizens with this?
One of our aspects to help support, the messaging from the mayor is to disseminate the information to these communities because some of them are vulnerable and just in receiving what's going on. Another aspect to think about is, some of these communities might be what's called a digital desert, they may not have access to the internet or the Wi-Fi or whatever's going on.
On top of being a food desert.
Exactly. So one of the things that we're working on is like putting it in our newsletter. Like we have a newsletter helping to consolidate some of the resources that are available, like the distribution sites maybe at the Houston Food Bank. To be honest, we're still working on it. But in terms of the newsletter, but that's one of the ways we support is to help be that communication tool directly to the community, especially because we've been doing the planning department is the lead on the civic engagement. Department of Neighborhoods is also kind of the, I'm gonna call it a trifecta in terms of the leadership team.
Right.
So they're helping to disseminate information too, because they've been in the community for years. They're the known faces. And people know me, who are you? Going back to who are you, what do you do? So I try to do my best to communicate what's going on as well.
So outside of what's happening now in terms of your own personal goals for complete communities, where would you like to see it go over the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years?
Well, actually, the plans are defined in terms of what's supposed to happen in 3 to 5 years.
Oh, so you don't have no personal. You can't.
I mean, I have my dreams, of course, and aspirations, right?
Right. But you're in line with, okay, I got
But definitely focusing on the plan and what the community said. There's a defined time frame. This is 2 to 5 years, which is medium. Then there's a short term, which is 0 to 2. That's our priority right now in our office, is focusing on the 0 to 2 years projects that the community said for the first round of communities. But we're also looking at the communities that are going through the community engagement process right now to see if we can identify projects that we can help coordinate simultaneously to the creation of what's called the action plan, which is basically what the community said they wanted to see in a document.
So you know what? Like Ric Flair used to say, woo! Man, we got to give it up for Christa because Director Bugs, hey, this is an excellent employee. So she made sure not to talk about her. It's all about the team and the we and the goals and objectives. She ain't got no personal goals. She following. See, that look at that, falling in line. I don't give a high five for it.
Air five.
See, I would have been messed up. I'd been all in kind of trouble. All right, guys. So look, Ms. Stoneham, Christa Stonhem, Complete Communities. I want to thank you for coming out. Appreciate you coming on HTV Today. So now people that work for the city and citizens, they know about you. More people know about you.
Yes.
You know, right? That's cool.
Yes.
And so let's give it up to executive producer Mariana Oyengurin. All right. Yeah, my gente. Yeah. Oh, hey, DJ extraordinaire, Terry Carter. Woo!
Christa is my dancing partner.
I am.
That's the
I
first
am.
time I met her. I had no idea who she was.
See?
We just started walking up to each
And
other
then-
and started dancing.
Exactly. That's why I was looking for the music now. I'm
Just
like,
looking
where's
for
the music?
What's up?
What?
Hey, hate to be rude. The alarm went off, so we out. Show's over.
Down the line. All right, drop the mic.
Drop the mic.
It's HTV Today, Houston Television's showcase of city government. Let's go.